Hi, this is Byron Stripling from the Columbus Jazz Orchestra, and we're excited because this weekend we're doing a special concert, music of blood, sweat, and tears, music of Chicago, and also it's kind of a look back at the 70s. And it's my pleasure to actually have some of the musicians that actually played with blood, sweat, and tears, and our vocalist Bruce Wermuth is here. But first I want to get to the great Lew Soloff. You were an idol of mine when I was a kid, and I was so fortunate. My favorite thing was to pick up a Blood, Sweat, and Tears record, put on God Bless the Child, and there was an incredible trumpet solo, and that was you on that record. And for me, as a trumpet player, it was one of the first times I got exposed to somebody playing a great trumpet solo, but also it was in a different genre. I hear, though, that there's a funny story about how you got in Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Were you the first trumpet player there, or was there somebody before you?
Oh, no, there were many trumpet players before me. The short version of a long story is that many trumpet players were offered that job. The first trumpet player in the band was Paul Trenta, that was his name. Many were offered the job and turned it down because no one was interested in playing anything but jazz at that point. It was rock and roll, basically, was what we thought of it as. Randy Brecker, the great visionary trumpet player, accepted the job, and so did a man named Jerry Weiss. What happened was Cooper quit the band.
I thought this was going to be short.
You asked a tough question.
Speed it up a little.
When Cooper quit the band, a bunch of the people didn't think the band would make it without him. They had made a great record called Child is Father to the Man, and I was fascinated with it. I also thought maybe I would get girls if I joined a rock and roll band. And it didn't work, but I did it, and so therefore I was not the first trumpet player with the band. Randy and Jerry were before me, and then it was Chuck Winfield and I.
Cool, cool. Well, this is a great Lew Soloff, and we're so proud to have an original member of Blood, Sweat, and Tears join us in that concert. Now, when we do the other half of the concert, we'll be exploring music of Chicago and some music from the 70s, and we have one of the great vocalists of all time. You've heard him on commercials and jingles singing all over the country, and we're so privileged and pleased to have him with us. This is Bruce Wermuth right here, and Bruce, I wanted to ask you, were you influenced by the sound of either Blood, Sweat, and Tears or Chicago? You'll do a lot of Chicago stuff on the show. But was that stuff when I first heard you singing when you were in college, I was in college, and you sang stuff, and you seemed to always have this beautiful tone quality to your voice, but was that influenced by some of the rock stuff that...
Oh, definitely. And I was in high school, Blood, Sweat, Tears, Chicago, that was like part of the soundtrack of my life. I was a trumpet player too, so, and I'm with Lew, I wanted to get girls, and all of a sudden it was cool to be a horn player because there was these great charts, and I sang in these bands, and yeah, it was just a great part of my life. I met my wife on the dance floor, dancing to a Chicago tune.
No way.
Believe it or not, high school sweetheart. Yeah, so yeah, this music it goes way back for me.
Did you have to relearn any of these lyrics, or you pretty much knew them?
It was interesting. A lot of them came back really easily. And then there were a couple where I'm going, I'm a little older now, it's going to take a little bit. Mostly it came back real, because I sang them so much in bands and stuff like that.
And quickly, you'll do also Bridge Over Troubled Water for us, and you're one of the great arrangers in the world, in my opinion. And tell us what inspired you to do that one.
I just think that is sort of the flagship ballad from the 70s. It's just such a heartfelt ballad, and it kind of ushered in the 70s. I think it was... They wrote it and kind of released it right around 1970. It's just one of my favorite ballads of all time. So when I got a chance to think about doing something like that, that's what I thought.
Sure. Well, we'll look forward to hearing that. Your arrangement of Bridge Over Troubled is incredible, as well as all the Chicago stuff that you sing. We went on move over to one of the great sax players of all time. You've all seen him on the Blues Brothers movies, and he's known on those movies as Blue Lew. And when I first got a chance to sit next to him in the studio, I was very nervous because I had heard him on so much stuff, and I thought, you're always like wondering, are these guys going to be mean to me, or are they going to be nice? But he's one of the nicest guys I ever met. Can you tell me about your experience in Blood, Sweat, and Tears? And first of all, were you encouraged to explore and improvise every night, or did they want you to play more of the same solo? Because I felt more than Chicago, Blood, Sweat, and Tears was a jazz thing. You could stretch out a little bit.
Well, when I joined the band, I had just come to New York. I was only in New York a couple of months, and I went down to hear Clark Terry's band, And I can't remember if I brought a chart that Clark played, maybe, but Lew and Dave Bargeron were both playing in it, and they sounded me to rehearse, to make an audition with the Sweats.
Dave, was he in this Blood, Sweat and
Yeah,
Tears?
he was
Okay.
in it.
Okay.
And so I went and auditioned and got the gig, and I mentioned to Lew earlier when we were driving over here about some videos that people have sent me recently of the band. And one thing that I was sort of delighted about was that it was really adventurous. So it might not always have been great, but we were definitely taking chances. There was something else too in one of the videos of us in the studio. We looked so relaxed. And I thought to myself upon seeing it that like the vibe of this country in the last 10 years or 15 years or so has really changed from, I mean, man, we look just so confident, so
Well,
at
you know,
ease,
pharmaceuticals will help with that too.
No, it was an adventurous band. It was a lot of fun, but it was also, there was a strong dichotomy in the band of the older guys, original guys, and the new crop. And in fact, Soloff and I, we have been best friends for years and years, but while we were on the band, there were some points of time. There was one time when we wouldn't even get on the same elevator. The door opened. I forget which one of us was in the elevator, but it was like, you know, and bang, the door shut.
Well, final question for you guys. Is it true that he used to leave his horn in the lobby all the time on all the tours with BS&T?
No, he didn't forget his horn, but one thing he was famous for was road burdens. Lou always had so much stuff that he, you know, in those days,
Still does.
we could carry a lot of stuff. But Lou took it to a whole new, and we used to try to figure out what the best road burden was. You know, I remember one time buying Lou a giant sombrero.
What do you call it, a road burden?
Burden, yeah, road burden. But he had enough anyway.
Giant sombrero.
Did you buy it?
Yeah, I bought it. I gave it to him.
Around,
Yeah.
right?
So he had to carry that in addition to the
yeah,
other
all this
stuff.
other stuff.
Well, this
See,
is...
the point was you had to buy something that was expensive enough that the guy felt guilty throwing it away. So you had to put some bucks out.
Well, this is the kind of fun that we're going to have this weekend, Friday and Saturday at the Southern Theater. We want you to join us along with Bruce Wermuth, the great Lew Soloff, Lew Marini, and of course the Columbus Jazz Orchestra will be there both nights, Friday and Saturday at 8 o'clock, and we look forward to seeing you
And
there.
Byron.
And Byron,
Byron
that's
Stripling.
me. We love you, and we'll see you soon.